The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. He missed the complete. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eckert.
From the land of the rising sun, we come to you from the Okayama International Circuit, where today the short configuration will host a very special event, the Absolute Beginners League's Season 9 Race of Champions. And you can see all the action from the first of 9 mini heats to the consolation race, and finally the championship main event, live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Konnichiwa, everyone, and welcome to another broadcast. This time it's a unique GSRC broadcast. I'm your host, Bill Soups On. Joining me in the booth to call the checker flag if my mic goes dead is Adam Forever Young. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director, Amjad Yaman, and he is armed with camera locations created exclusively for GSRC by the Ansel Adams of iRacing, Dougie Beard. And as we count down to the beginning of this one-of-a-kind contest, bring cyberspace into your place. Fill up a bowl with some flavored rice crackers, pour yourself an icy glass of melon cream soda, and prepare for some one-of-a-kind sim racing that will be streaming into your home. So what exactly is on tap? Well, comprising Season 9 of the Absolute Beginners League was a pair of series, the Formula Neagle, which GSRC brought to you, and the Tony Hayes Cup, which was not on the broadcast schedule. Today, 6 invited drivers from each series have RSVP'd yes to slip in behind the wheel of a rumbling street stock and slug it out in a series of 9 two-lap heat races and a 3-lap main event. And all of that, Adam, takes place on a track that all iRacers cut their teeth on.
Yeah, that's right. We are at Okayama International Circuit today, and we are running that old school short course here, totaling 1.3 miles in length, 2.09 kilometers, and it is only 7 turns. So this is going to be really tight and dicey for these street stocks today. So definitely expect a bunch of beat and banging around. Keep in mind, though, Okayama at one point in time did actually host some Formula One races as well. But hey, Amjad, he tells us all the time, I want to get out and drive, I want to get out and drive. Well, we finally let him out of the booth and put him behind a street stock to show us this circuit, but we still let Joe Peak do the talking. Here's a lap around Okayama.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman to the GSRC street stock, so let's do a lap around Okayama. Turn 1 is easily the best place to pass, so you'll really want to suss out your braking into this corner. It's deceptive though, because the apex is later than you'd expect with such a small straight afterwards. This is where the short layout peels off into 2, and this double apexer will prove tricky even to the most talented driver. Be careful not to spin it into the close barriers on either side. From there, the track switches back through Piper, where a good exit will be wise. It'll keep you from being vulnerable down into Redmond, which may entice a few drivers into making surprise attacks. It's really the only other halfway decent place to attempt an overtake. At this point, the circuit gets pretty technical with it switching back and forth between 180-degree bends. All the way, we'll be climbing uphill until you get to a little bit of a rest before Mike Knight Corner. It's just a small breathe on the throttle to get the car through, then drift it out and throw out the anchor for the final corner. This is definitely the most critical turn on the course. A good exit can make or break your lap time, or even race. Drivers will be desperate to pounce if they see you come out of this bend slow. Hopefully, you've nailed it right, and as we come to the line, we've finished a lap around Okayama.
And of course, that is a very quick lap around the Okayama short circuit with Amjad Yaman behind the wheel. Joe Peak doing the talking, and definitely drives a lot different than those MX-5 Miatas around here. And of course, remember that this broadcast is going to be made possible thanks to the good folks at ilovesimracing.co.uk, the home for your personal created button boxes. For winning the Formula Neagle Championship, Euro Num was awarded a custom-made box from I Love Sim Racing. Sim race your way.
Thanks, Adam. And now we have a chance to do something that we never get to do. and that is not have to wait until the opening race of the following season before showing this season's final standings. Let's start with the series that you're all familiar with that we bring you here on GSRC, and that is the Formula Eagle. Now, the king of the Skippies was the Roland Estonian Arrow Num. Doing his best to keep Num honest was David Third Degree Burns. Finally having a season that reflects his skills was Pierce Cocky, who finished in third. Season 6 champ Tuan Tran was fourth, and Vincent Bream climbed onto the podium on the very last round. All 5 of these drivers have qualified for the Race of Champions, plus add in 6th place finisher Bastian Hausmann. Now, let's move over to the Tony Hayes Cup. Now, keep in mind, this is a multi-class event. Winning in the rough there. Oh, and it looks like they're going to be starting us, so we'll get some of this in later here. Just let you keep in mind, maybe, Amjad, can we bring up the 12 drivers that qualified? We're able to find that one, and there you go. You can see those are all the drivers who were in the event today, as they're going to start real quick on our broadcast. And now they're going to hesitate a little bit as they're having some fun, so we can finish this through here. We're working in uncharted territories here, but they're going to stop for us here. Let's go ahead and we'll bring up the Tony Hayes Cup there. Now, we talked about this again. Now, these are the guys in the rough. Remember, 3 of these guys are going to qualify, and your winner was Wojciech Podolski, but he's not here today. Fabian Jungblom was finished in second ahead of David Burns. Eric Lukel and Liam Quinn round out the top 5. Now, the top 3 finishers qualify for the race, but because Podolski is unavailable to race today, Burns is thin thanks to his Formula Eagle result. The top spots go to Jungblom, Lukel, and Quinn. Now, finally, to the last one we need to talk about here, and that is the MX5 class of the Tony Hayes Cup. Series Solworth, Johan Vanderbilt took the top spot with an easy 54-point win. Vincent Bream and Rodrigo Fiera each climbed a spot into second and third. Making room for them to move up was Alex Sturm, and who fell 2 spots to fourth, and then the Roland Estonian filled out the spot there. And now, advancing would be Vanderbilt, Fiera, and Sturm, but since Sturm is unavailable to race, it's going to open up, as we see here, going to let in Mikkel Hoffendason is going to get in there, and so that's your 12 guys. All right, we've got through that. You want to quickly do the event details here, Adam? Then we'll get the whole thing started.
Yeah, these guys definitely look a little antsy to race, so we'll get through this pretty quick. Cards today, it's going to be the street stocks. We're going to run 9 heats, each consisting of 2 laps and 4 cars per heat. Drivers, well, we got 12 of them, 3 heats per driver, scoring 1st through 4th, and that'll be the 3-2-1-0 format. 3 laps in the finals with the top 6 qualifying for those. Setups are the fixed road setup, and it is a racy setup here. There will be a live marshal and a live pace car today. The red flags, well, they're possible if there's a big enough incident so we can reset the field real quick. And of course, in order to make all this happen, we have to have the unlimited fast repairs.
All right, we got out of the business out of the way. Let's go ahead and we're going to start off with our first 4 drivers out there right now. You see out in front, let's make sure that we get this straight here. It is Burns is going to be in the 125 car. And then it's going to be Cocky behind him. He's going to be starting on the outside, I would imagine, outside of row 1. Bastian Hausmann is going to be your 3rd place qualifier. And then in the number 44 machine is going to be Liam Quinn. And the other car you see out there in front, that's the pace car. That yellow one is not. It's going to pull off in a minute, and then it's going to turn it over to David Burns. And he's going to be able to pace the field 2 laps. And they score points. 4 points, or 3 points, 2 points, 1 point, and 0 for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Adam, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, this is going to be a blast. Expect a lot of beating and banging going on, which is something these guys usually can't do in the cars they drive. So, yeah, a little bit of time to let your hair down and go out there and have some fun.
Pace car now working his way into pit entrance. And now the field is turned over to David Burns. Out there in front, the number 125 machine. And Dave's going to get the jump right off Pierce Cocky. And that GSR colored car is going to duck there into 2nd place. Making a move on the outside is the 44. That's Liam Quinn, but he's stuck on the high side, trying to tuck in underneath is Bastian Hausmann in 4th.
David Burns definitely has the best looking car here very early on in this 2-lap heat. Right behind him, Pierce Cockey's going to settle in. They're all going to go nose to tail as we go through this complex, heading on to the little back straightaway here at Okayama. And of course, it looks like Dave Burns is going to control the field going in there, but Pierce Cockey going to try to take a look, but nothing's going to come of it.
We think that might be your best passing zone right there. They'll get 2 shots at it. That was 1. Now let's see what goes around here. Look at these big, heavy cars trying to negotiate this little track. Lap times are going to be just over 1 minute around. Coming around here, Burns, with 1 corner to go, he gets this final corner, and this is going to complete lap number 1. They're going to come across pretty much in the same order that they started. Burns, Cockey, Houseman, and Quinn. Look at Burns take this defensive line down there. Here comes Cockey with a run.
Ooh, that's dangerous in one of these cars.
Cockey can't get it wound up. He puts it out into the gravel. He's going to lose second to Houseman. He's going to lose third as well to Quinn. And drop it back is Cockey. And I think everyone's watching now learned a lesson there.
Nah, he was just practicing for when dirt track comes to iRacing here in a few months.
Burns now dives it into the left-hander. Then they get on the gas for a little bit as they come around. Got this little right-hander to go. Let's watch back there in third position. It is Cockey again making a run on Quinn, but he's not going to get it done. And here comes the man who had all the fun. David Burns wins heat number 1. Bastian Houseman takes second. Quinn gets third. And the man who tried to make it happen, Pierce Cockey's going to get 4th position and no points for this heat.
Well, you know, they say that flames on your car adds a couple tenths a second a lap, so David Burns ought to just go ahead and leave those on there here for a while. Make his Skip Barber car covered in flames.
Now, Burns will set out for a while. I don't think we're going to see him back until heat number 6. So he'll have a little time to rest, get it all set up. Congratulations from our race director goes out to Burns. As they do their pace lap. And now, we're going to bring out the second group of kids here pretty soon. We'll just tell you who they are, then we'll run down what their cars look like. Tuan Tran, Errol Num, a couple former champions. Well, Num, the current 2-time champion, actually. Tran, the champion from Season 6. Eric Lukal and Fabian Jungbluth will be in the second heat. You can see there the yellow pace car as they start to line up in order. Very well organized series here as they get this done. Sometimes it's like herding cats when you want to try to get iRacers to follow directions, but I think they got it pretty much worked out here.
And of course, I do believe I was hearing that they ran this format last year, so they got a little experience under the belt for at least some of these guys. But definitely a very, very interesting format they have here. And as you saw with that first heat, this second heat probably going to be just as exciting. Get to see the likes of Tuan Tran and Euro Num, see how they do with these just big street stocks with the front engine and then light rear end that just want to kind of come around on you in every corner. I'm pretty sure those guys love driving these cars.
Edgar Sancinelli in the pace car. Let's go ahead and show you the field there. Tuan Tran looks like he's going to be choosing the inside position in the 21 machine. Now on the outside of him on row 1, and when they come all the way around, that number 78 car should be on the outside of row 1. That's your 2-time champion and reigning champion, Errol Num, in the Formula Eagle. Eric Lukal inside of row 2, and on the outside, Fabian Jungbluth. He's the specialist from the Tony Hayes Cup. Sancinelli takes that yellow pace car off, giving over control to your pole sitter from the Netherlands, Tuan Tran. Tran gets an early jump. He started it off that final corner. Num also had a run. Look at that 78 machine trying to move on the outside. Tran trying to squeeze him over as far as he can. Now Tran moves to the inside. It's a battle of who can break the best. Neither one of these guys familiar in these heavy cars. It looks like Tran's going to get it done as he's going to hold off for now, but great momentum from Num. In third position is Lucal Jungbluth, watching the whole thing happen.
Great side-by-side racing here from Tuan Tran and Euro Num. Haven't we seen these guys side-by-side before? This Tuan Tran runs a little bit wide out there heading onto the back stretch, but it's going to lose the lead to Euro Num. Pretty sure Euro Num gave him a little bump there on the front stretch. Tuan Tran's going to go around.
Tran gets loose right in front of Jungbluth. Now we'll see. I don't think they're probably going to throw the yellow on that one. We'll have to see, but I think they'll probably still go green. I haven't heard any calls from anybody, so Euro Num, I'll be darned, he started on the outside of row 1. He got the best of it done as they come across to complete the first lap. It's going to be your 2-time champion. It looks like he's going to have an easy race of it now as he's up by about 0.6 of a second on Lucal.
Yeah,
Jungbluth, go ahead.
Yeah, Luca almost lost it back there just a couple of corners ago, so he's really trying to push to get up to Euro Num, but with the short 2-lap format here, I just don't think he's going to be able to do it. I think Euro Num, as long as he can keep all 4 corners clean on the car, is going to pull this one off.
They are all spaced out now, so the guy getting the lion's share of the points going to go to the Roland Estonian, that 78 machine. Pretty darn good run. He tried to, maybe we can get that on replay if we have time. After the race, he went on the outside of the first corner, was able to hold it all the way around and then get that done back as they went through 3 and 4 through that little cutoff section. Right now, the Roland Estonian working his way around the back half of the track. There he goes as he has his final corner to negotiate. The man who knew what to do, Euro Num, wins heat number 2. Eric Lucal going to take second, third place to Fabian Jungbluth. And the man who was on the pole had some trouble, going to pick up no points for this heat, Tuan Tran. Okay, we're going to look at the spin of Tran here that happened in the passing zone here. Adam?
Yeah, it's just one of those things that the car just kind of broke loose on him as he tries to go through here, under braking especially. And that's one thing I was noticing, that under braking with these cars, they kind of want to get a little wheel hop going, and it looks like that's what happened to Tuan Tran, and it just kind of came around on him.
We'll watch this from the popcorn position. This is why we call it the popcorn position, because you get to watch the show. Fabian did a good job of getting on the brakes, getting off of that, did not get collected in Tran's spin.
And of course, Fabian also represented the ABL in the GSRC All-Star Invitational race yesterday. Did an okay job there. I think they had a little bit of trouble, but still was able to represent his league.
If you have not had a chance to see that live, go ahead and look at it in one of our rebroadcasts. You can find it on GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. or the YouTube channel for Global Sim Racing Channel. It's a good watch. Okay, well, there's 2 down, 7 to go. Let's tell you who's in this one here. This is the third heat, and this is the last set of 4 drivers in our group of 12, and it's going to be Vincent Bream on the pole. Now, the man, the fan favorite, Mikael Hafendassen in here. He's always fun to watch. Rodrigo Capoletto and Johan Vanderbilt, the fan belt.
And of course, all these guys have competed in the Formula Eagle Series that you see on GSRC, and that's I really can't pick a favorite out of this heat. I think all these guys are going to match up pretty equal, and that's going to make it even more exciting.
Yeah, the luck of the draw truly comes into play here, as these are randomly drawn spots for where they start. Let's go ahead and look at some of these cars now. Bream is in that number 25 machine, that dark-colored car. Then you have a pair of white cars. That's Hafendassen there in the number 81. Fiera in the number 69 car, and then the 18 machine in the last spot there. That's the fan belt. They're getting it all organized. Nice little Rockstar car number 25 that they have on there for Vincent Bream. A pair of white cars out there.
A pair of white cars. They're nice enough to sport the GSRC logo.
Pace car actually scrapes the wall coming in, but he manages to get it done. And they go green for heat number 3. Vincent Bream taking that inside line with a little bit of momentum on the outside is Hafendassen. He's going to tuck in behind. kind of watch what Arrow Numb did. Boy, now he backs way out as he brakes
Oh,
early. Your leader is off in the sand. There goes Bream. Oh, and another spin. We lose also. Vanderbilt gets turned, and into the wall that's the white car of Fiera. Are they going to stay green? I believe they are, because everyone is still going in the right direction. They're not going to throw the yellow. Look who's out in front. It's Mikael Hoflundesen.
Oh, that was an exciting first couple of corners. I think everybody got out of that too without any damage.
It all started when the leader took it in really hot, really deep into the first corner on the first lap. Couldn't get this big, heavy car slowed down and went out into the sand. A lot of runoff spot from out there, but then that opened up opportunities for everybody. Hoflundesen comes across and leads the first lap. He's got quite a margin. It should be pretty easy from here. Vincent Brame looks to be comfortable in second. Ferreira in third. And the Vanderbilt's going to be in fourth.
Michael Hoflundesen with a pretty much a commanding lead right now over second place Vincent Brem. Of course, Vincent Brem had that quick spin, was able to get it going again. Ferreira is running in third. The Vanderbilt currently bringing up the rear of the field, coming in from second into fourth. I have to go back and take a look at that here in just a second, but I mean that first lap definitely kind of shook up that field.
Yeah, we'll have a lot to do between heats here as we'll try to get a replay on what we saw early on. And then we'll go ahead and announce the grid and maybe bring up the point totals here after 3 rounds. But right now, the man that you see wins heat number 3, Mikael Hoflundesen. Vincent Breme, Burt, and then Ferreira and Bell. Now we're going to look at this first lap replay. Adam, here it is.
Yeah, Vanderbilt just gets in there, it gets real hot, and then, that was Vincent Brem, and then Vanderbilt ended up spinning on the second part right there on the exit of the corner, and definitely everybody's able to get out of that without any kind of contact, including even Ferreira almost scraping the tire barrier down there, but no damage at all, just a couple of real quick loops, and they were able to get on there and show Max Verstappen a little bit of love there on the Vanderbilt's car.
You saw Bremen Fanpelt going loose. Now we're going to bring up the points here after 3 rounds. Everybody has raced 1 time. 3 points for first, 2 points for second, 1 point for third, no points. There you see the 3 winners on top, Nome, Burns, and Hoflundesen. That'll shake up as they come around. All the second place drivers are next. Bream, Hausman, and Lukel. Third place drivers, Jungbluth, Quinn, and Capoletto. Actually, that's Fiera's we'll go with Capoletto. We can go with that one there. Yes, it's Rodrigo Capoletto Fiera. We'll go with Capoletto for now. And then the guys who finished last, Pierce Cocky, Tuan Tran, and Johan Vanderbilt. So that's your standings at the 1/3 mark. If it was a hockey game, this would be our first period break right now. We're going to start heat number 4. Let's show you who's out there. Of course, the yellow car is Sanchinelli. There are fast repairs, so these guys should be able to get a clean car. So Vanderbilt is going to be on the pole. Going to try. He just raced. He's right back out there again. Errol Numb, who we saw with a victory already, going to be on the outside of row number 1. Vincent Breme, who we just saw have trouble. He's going to see if he can make up for it. No time to lick your wounds. He's back out there again, starting on the inside of 2. And then there's that maize-colored car of Bastian Hausman. Sanchinelli this time hopefully has a better entrance into pit lane as he scraped that yellow pace car last time. Vanderbilt probably learned his lesson from the first lap that he just did. Made his mistake from 3rd position. Right now he'll be in control of the field. Sanchinelli takes the pace car in, turn over the field to the pace to number 18, and he scrapes the wall again.
We're going to have to start taking that out of his paycheck.
The Vanderbilt gets a pretty good jump, but Arrow Numb, who is in the exact same position he was last time, he tried to make that outside line work. Again, he gets a great drive into 1. He was able to hold this spot. There was Tron Tran that he tried it on last time. This time the Fanbelt does a pretty good job of fending him off. Num gets a little bit of a tip. That was behind. They got a tip from Bream, and then diving in there was Hausman, but they're all going straight.
Hero Num is just wheeling that thing around right now, too, after that little bit of contact. He's going to take control over second place over Vincent Brem. However, you still have the Fanbelt, Johan Vanderbilt, still in the front of this field as Hero Num trails him. He's going to be trying to get a good look here. I imagine he's going to try to make a pass going into one if he's able to try to get a good run as they head into turn 7.
He had to make up a lot of ground that he lost from the tip that Brame gave him. But now, let's see what kind of run Num can get off this final corner. You can see these guys muscle their cars around. Vanderbilt using all of the track to get the car going. Num right behind him. Not really much time to get there. He's about 2 car lengths back. Let's see what the Roland Estonian can do under braking. He dives it in there. The accordion effects brings them up together. Let's see what kind of drive they can get off. Hey, Num, I think, made up a little ground.
Yeah, made up quite a bit of ground. Now, will he use that chrome horn just a little bit to maybe try to get around Vanderbilt? Is he going to head on to the little bit of a back straightaway here and keep calling it a little back straight? That's because that's what it is as they head into this tight left-hander.
Not going to be able to get there this time. He starts to move to the outside. If he can pin the Fanbelt on the inside, he's got a shot at it. The Fanbelt works the way around. Num should have a little bit more momentum. He takes it off into the grass. The car gets a little bit loose. He loses about a car length. He's coming around. He's doing the best he can. Aero Num wishes he could go 1 lap more because Johan Vanderbilt wins heat number 4. Num is going to get second. Third position goes to Bream, and rounding it out in the back is your 4th car as they have fun in the end. Hausman finishes 4th. We're going to go back and look at that first lap replay. Now there's the little tip. That was from Bream.
And then watch him wheel this thing.
Yeah, I know. That's 78 car. My goodness.
We'll let it go through the next corner section too on Euro Num here in just a second. But here's the view from Vincent Brem. He gets into him just a touch. He's watching Euro just pull this thing around. He goes through this next section here right now too, and he is like almost like 45 degrees sideways to the track at that one point right there, and he's able to keep that thing straight.
You know, Adam, I think the quality of this car, the characteristics, really lends itself to a guy who is a wheelman. He can really show his stuff. And what the Roland Estonian was showing there is that it doesn't matter if it's a little skippy or a big heavy machine. Put him behind the wheel and he can get that thing around. Okay, we're going to round number 5. Let's run you through the starting grid here. Up in front is going to be Rodrigo Capoletto Fiera. Then we drop back to Fabian Youngbluth. Now, Pierce Cocky, the poor guy didn't have a paint scheme, so what we did here at GSRC is we thought we'd do a little self-promotion, and we slapped on the GSR paint scheme there for him so he wouldn't feel so naked out there. It was just a boring white scheme, so we gave him a little something to run with. And then also out there running in this event as well, I lost my place here, is car number... in the 4th position, car number 21, that's Tron Tran.
I do like how Edgar is keeping the damage on his yellow safety car.
Okay, now this time it's the car number 69 on the inside. That's the white machine. The 69 has a little GSRC tag on the back. That's Rodrigo Capoletto Fiera. Ferreira was going to be in control of the field now. So far, we've seen the guy on the pole have a good run. Gets a pretty good drive off of 4, off of the last corner. Youngbluth now. He's going to try to make it work on the outside. Boy, he's got a pretty good run. Can he get the 217 woed up? And he does. But able to hold position is Ferreira. Tran tucks into 3rd. Remember, Tran got to get some points. He finished last in his first heat. Pierce Cocky back there in 4th.
Yeah, right now Vieira is just trying to make up also for some of those problems earlier on.
Good run.
Youngblood's going to get a really good run here. Vieira's going to force him down, try to go defensive on him, almost block, and they're going to make contact as they go into that corner. That real tight left-hander that's like many Mazdas over the years, and that's just going to scatter out the field. Tuan Train's going to end up getting the worst side of that deal again, as he's going to lose a few positions also.
That's the first time so far in the 4 previous heats that we've seen a pass in that position. That was a great young run from Jungbluth there. He dove it in, and then he was willing to trade paints. So let's see what happens now. They come around that final corner. Ferreira out in front. He's going to lead the first lap, but that doesn't mean anything. Jungbluth, Cocky, and poor Tuan Tran again trailing the field.
All 4 cars, though, you can still throw a blanket on them in the grand scheme of things. Jungbluth is going to defend second place from Piers Cocky. Piers Cocky's back there looking hungry. You can just see the gravel getting kicked off all these cars from all the off tracks that we've seen here so far. Of course, it's usually a pretty dirty track to begin with. Vieira's going to keep control of the field heading down the backstretch.
Oh, but again, Jungbluth is really good off of that left-hander. This time, the leader protects the inside. You're not going to body slam me this time if I take this position. So now he tries a little over-under. This could get rough. They're side by side as they work through the final right-hander here as they're going to set up for the last charge to the finish line. It's still Vieira out in front. Jungbluth Tran spins behind him. Jungbluth cannot find a way around as they work through this final corner. But the man with the best drive wins round number 5, and that is Rodrigo Ferreira.
Meanwhile, back there after some problems, Piers Cocky and Tuan Tran are going to coming down to a run here.
And look at this battle here for third. Tran may have dissed him. What happened there was Cocky spun coming off the final corner, and that let Tran give a run, and we think Tran took third on that one. Now we're going to look at the first lap contact here. This is the dive bomb into this left-hander, Adam.
Yeah, very, very tight move, and of course the door shuts real quick, but Jungbluth gathers it up, gets back in position. Of course, he was able to try to make a run later on in the race.
That's what these cars are meant to do. They see that was some good racing going on. That's how these cars battle Saturday nights here in the U.S. Usually on oval tracks, though. Let's confirm that Tuan Tran did pick up a point as he was able to sneak by Piers Cocky, who managed to spin coming off of that final corner and lose the point. Now we're looking for the final race now here on the what we're going to call the middle segment, race lap heats 4, 5, and 6. Mikael Hoflundesen, Liam Quinn, Eric Lukal, and David Burns. They are lining up right now. Now they're actually having a little trouble doing a little cat herding here, but they are getting this one worked out. Sancinelli takes that yellow 57 pace car out, doing a good job today. At least on the track. Yeah, there we go. We're going to see here how they play it. Okay, let's go ahead and set the field for you. It looks like Hoflundesen is going to have the preferred spot on the pole. Let's confirm that one here as I look down there. Yep, he got the luck of the draw there, so the 81's going to be on the inside of row 1. On the outside in that kind of yellow and black multicolored happy face, not sure quite what's going on the 44. That's going to be Liam Quinn. Then on the inside of row 2, Eric Lukal and David Burns back there on the outside of row 2.
This should be another good battle, especially since David Burns back there starting in the back. He's going to be trying to fight his way to get up there to the front to try to get another 3 points on the board.
Hoflundesen has already a win under his belt, looking for his second one. Still the pace car again as he spins it around. Meanwhile, out in front, Mikael Hoflundesen gets a great jump and says, Bye-bye. He comes over the mic and says bye-bye. Liam Quinn says, not so fast, as Quinn drops down into second. Lucal tucks into third, watching the whole thing happen as third-degree burns.
It's getting to see all that gravel out there as a few of the cars run wide out into the dirt. Mikhail has definitely got control of this thing over Liam Quinn, but Liam Quinn gets a great run. Every time I say somebody has control of this one, he gets a great run. That's just kind of the way this track's going to be. Head onto the backstretch, all running nose to tail. David Burns right now running in fourth. He's going to be having to try to make a move up there. Liam Quinn's going to run just a touch wide, but gets it gathered up going into that left-hander there. Going into that tight right-hander. It's part of a real tight left-right complex here. And once again, you can pretty much throw a blanket over all four cars.
Hofland-Dason taking some defensive tight lines into the corner. Quinn is really in good shape right now. If Quinn can avoid getting tapped from Lucal, Quinn would have a shot here to make a move. They come across for the first lap. It is as they pretty much started. Hofland-Dason, Quinn, Lucal, and Burns watching the whole thing. Now let's see, Adam, when they come in here, watch for Quinn to get a good drive off of this final left-hander into that, to set up down the backstring.
Yeah, this is where he was really good the previous lap, right through this little section right here. That's when he was able to get his run. He was almost able to get that pointy nose to the street stock in there, but not quite. Now he's got to have Lucal all over his back bumper as they head into the right-hander.
Yeah, Lucal's going to take it in. There's no passing up on this one. He's got to make the move. Now Lucal and Quinn are side by side. Quinn's going to have a little bit momentum because he's on the outside. They go through here side by side through the right-hander. Now it's going to be a drag race. Out in front is Hofland-Dason. Oh, they spin behind, and he goes off. Meanwhile, the man who was quick wins round number 6, and that is Mikhail Hofland-Dason. Quinn gets second. Burns gets third, and then rounding out the field in fourth, who spun on that final corner, Eric Lucal.
Hey, can't really blame Lucal for that. He was definitely pushing that thing as hard as he could and just went barely over the line.
Let's go ahead now as the points have been updated. Let's bring those up, and look who is sitting on the top. After 2 races under the belt for each driver, the most you could have was 6 points, and look who's up on top. It is Miguel Hofland-Dason. Num has a win and a second in second position. Burns sits there with fourth and a tie with Capoletto. Vincent Bream and Fabian Jungbluth. Now remember, the cutoff line is 6th position, so right now there's a tie also. Liam Quinn and Johan Vanderbilt in there, all with those 3 points. They'll have to go to a tiebreaker if it was a stop right now. Then the guys in 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, Hausman, Lucal, Tran, and Cocky. Cocky still looking to score his first point.
So if they end up with a 4-way tie for the final spot in the final, can we just let them race again?
It's an arm wrestling battle. Now, I believe they do have some tie-breaking rules. Yeah, let's let those guys run out there. That's a good idea. Okay, we start now. This is heat number 7. The final third, 7, 8, and 9 making up the final 3 rounds of the preliminaries. Run down your starting lineup here. On the pole, it's Pierce Cocky. We talked about him still looking to get that first point. Well, here's a good opportunity for him to do that. Rodrigo Capoletto Ferreira, Vincent Bream, and then the last car is Tuan Tran. Tran really hasn't had any luck. He's been competitive, but things seem to go wrong around him, and it's cost him. A little tapping of the pace car there. Cocky in the GSRC paint scheme, number 13. That white car on the outside, that's Ferreira. Cocky gets a great jump, and it's going to lead them into the first corner. Ferriera on taking that tight inside defensive line just inside of Bream. Bream's going to try to elbow his way in there. Looking to get in there is Tron Tran. Look at Tran. Adam make the move from the back, but he doesn't do it.
And then you still have contact with Fiera and Brem bouncing off each other as they headed through there. And then it looks like it's going to settle out with Fiera running in 4th place, Tran in 3rd, and Vincent Brem coming out in 2nd. But that's allowed Piers Cocky to get probably about as large of a lead as we've seen a first-place car get into this section here out of all these heats. But look for Vincent Brem to do his best to run him down. He's got a little bit of time to do it, but these are going to be pretty quick laps here. Remember, only 2-lap heats, one about a minute 3 seconds for a lap. And then, though, Piers Cocky's going to have a pretty decent lead here going into the front stretch.
Poor Ferriera. He went into there in 2nd position, didn't have the preferred position, got muscled outside by Brem. And then Tran went ahead and capitalized as well. Ferriera drops down to 4th. But the car up in front, that's your leader. Here's Cocky looking to get that first win there.
He's going to do his best to put his name trying to get into the running there for those that 6th position cutoff, but he's got to have some other things go his way, and I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen for him, but at the very least, he's going to do his best to put himself in position here.
Well, it looked like the cutoff mark was 3. He doesn't have any points yet. He will get to the cut line, and then, like you said, he'll need to have hopes that nobody else in that 3 points can score, and maybe he'll have a chance to get in. But right now, as he comes around that final corner, he's got that engine revving because Piers Cocky wins heat number 7. Vincent Bream going to take 2nd position. Those points are going to be valuable. Juan Tran gets 3rd. And Vieta.
And he's
the line. They're having fun in the corners. Oh, nothing like unlimited fast repairs to make it fun. See what the director's going to pull up for us here. We have anything this time? We're going to go. No, we're going to go right with our next round here. We go to right round number 8. That was a pretty quiet race as far as the rounds go.
The exception of the first lap, and then things settled down pretty dang quick after that.
Liam Quinn, the Fan Belt, 3rd Degree, and the Roland Estonian all coming out. I have nicknames for all these guys. Liam, of course, is Mr. Excitement. So it's Mr. Excitement, the Fan Belt, 3rd Degree, and the Roland Estonian. We ride on board right now with Mr. Excitement. Looking ahead at Sancinelli in that pace car. Give you a little inside sim racing here, inside GSRC. One of the things we can do is, as commentators, we can push a button and we can scan forward or backwards on a car, which works wonderfully, except right now when they come down the front straight, because every time I push to move up a position, it sends me to the cars that are parked in pit lane. So I've got to learn to stop doing that right now, and I get a good call of the cars that are parked. There's 8 of them in there, and it's hard to get off of them sometimes.
Just got to click faster.
That's it. A lot of talking going on right now. A lot of fun going on. Okay, keep an eye on that 44 car. It's in the preferred position. And it's always fun. What we've been laughing at every time here is what happens to the 57 as it pulls in. That's the pace car. Pace car pulls in at an incredible speed and actually rolls it up on the tires. The pace car has rolled over. I gotta love it. Meanwhile, up in front, Quinn fighting to stay ahead of the driver in 2nd. That's Vanderbilt in the 18. Vanderbilt's going to be stuck on the outside, and that's going to allow Numb to peek inside. This is pretty darn competitive. Look at this. Numb might actually think to dive it in there and make it 3 wide. I knew what the Roland Estonian did. He dived it in from 3rd. 2 by 2, Adam.
Yeah, side by side, 1, 2, 3, 4 as they head down the backstretch. Looks like David Third Degree Burns is going to try to make a move back there from 4th, but not going to be able to get anything done as that 18 car takes that defensive line. But right now, Liam Quinn on the inside of that corner, but he'll be on the outside of this right-hander as it looks like he's going to lose the spot to Johan Vanderbilt. No, he's going to fight back on the outside of that little extra momentum and get right ahead to the front stretch.
Gnome out in front as they come across for the first lap, but right now tucking down into second. Getting that spot back is Vanderbilt. Look, the battle for second. Vanderbilt in there mixing it up with Quinn. And then the car number 125 of Third Degree Burns back there looking as they all cross the start-finish line working on the final lap. Meanwhile, way out in front, able to negotiate around all the trouble was Errol Nunn. It looks like he's going to be able to cruise to the victory. Vanderbilt, Quinn, and Burns, though, that's another story. And Burns gets into the back of Quinn, turns him, and then gives him a little push out of the way. Look at the good sportsmanship from Burns as he sits and waits and lets Quinn have the spot back.
Yeah, but now that separates it, and that's pretty much going to give the Roland Estonia and Eero Num here an easy ride going to the checkered flag here in just a second with Johan Vanderbilt with Max Verstappen love on the hood. You're going to be in command and control a second.
Working his way around the final corner for Johan Vanderbilt. It's too little, too late, as Errol Num wins heat number 8. Vanderbilt takes second. Quinn is going to be able to take that third spot that was given to him by David Burns, and they come across that way. And we're going to look at this pass on board with the Roland Estonian. This is the move from third to first, right on board with Errol.
He just ends up being in the right place at the right time here as they get racy.
You could just see that the door was open. Then he drives it in. And what's amazing, Adam, is he's able to drive it in there and not slam into Quinn. He's able to dive it in and keep it off of him.
Yeah, I mean, great display of driving by all 4 of these guys here through that first lap, and then things just went crazy from there. But, I mean, just fantastic heat. That was definitely probably one of the funner heats here so far.
All right, we are back live, and man, I don't know about you fans watching at home, but the commentators are having a blast as this is going by really quick. We are to the 9th round. This is it. This is the final round for these guys to get in. And on the pole, Eric Lukl, Bastian Hausman going to be outside of row 2, Fabian Jungbluth, and Miguel Hoflandaisen. Hoflandaisen, remember, sitting on 6 points with a pair of wins already.
I do see that with the rollover, the pace car finally had to take a reset.
That's correct, yeah. Sancinelli did a pretty good job of rolling that car over. He almost rolled it over back onto the track. He got it up on the tire barrier and separated the pit lane from the racetrack. It's all fun. It's so nice to be able to close up what was a great season for the Absolute Beginner League here on GSRC, and we are so happy to be able to bring you this special event. Sancinelli brings the car in for the 9th time. A little nicer this time. And out in front, it's Eric Lukl. Second place, Fabian Jungbluth. Side by side behind him. That's Bastian Hausman on the outside. Hoflandaisen able to pick up another spot now. Hoflandaisen working the inside of 1, and he's going to get the best of Hausman.
Oh, that track has gotten to be so slick there with all the dirt and the gravel, and that's made some of these cars go a little sideways going through them. But Hoflandaisen's going to start fighting here, has to fight with Hausman there on the backside here for 3rd and 4th. Meanwhile, Jungbluth is going to try to get a run on Eric Lukl here, and not able to get his nose into there in time. He's going to try an over-under here and maybe try to get a good run. He's going to have a little bit of a better position as they head into turn 5.
A little bit of lesson learned there. I'm not sure if the 217 is going to be quite as kind next time from that second position spot. Of course, these drivers have done the math. They know what they need right now, so maybe Fabian is happy with second. We aren't able to do that much of a calculation. Right now, out in front, Eric Lukl doesn't need to worry about points. He's going to get a full winner's share if he can bring it around, and he's got himself about a second lead over Jungbluth. Hoflandaisen has 2 wins under his belt right now, running third, looking for a way around the 217. Falling back is Bastian Hausman. He looks to be out of the mix.
Yeah, Hausman right there just hoping that something happens in front of him so he's able to try to get into the points. But Eric Lukl right now is going to have to fight off a hard charge here from Jungbluth. He's going to take the defensive line as they go into 3.
And this may work out for Hoflandaisen here. Hoflandaisen takes it in deep.
Took it in so deep, the rear end broke out from underneath him, and I was worried he was going to slide into Jungbluth, but that ended up not happening. He's able to get it gathered up, as it looks like Jungbluth is going to have to settle for second here, as Eric Lukl is going to have a pretty commanding lead as they head through the final set of corners.
The 217 struggling to get around the leader. Hoflandaisen also struggling, but the man who's doing fine is Eric Lukl as he wins round number 9. Jungbluth is going to take second position. Third goes to Hoflandaisen. And Bastian Hausman rounds out the last car and takes it full speed into the barriers.
I think he was aiming for Eric there.
Well, let's go ahead and bring up the points right now, and then what's going to happen, there's going to be a consolation race for the guys in the bottom 6. And we look down there, we see that Num and Hoflandaisen are safely in. Vincent Bream and Jungbluth are also in. And then we get to this 4-way tie for 6. Burns, Lukl, Quinn, Capoletto Ferreira. And in that tie, we know that Cocky, Tran, and Hausman will not get in.
Okay, Johan just got on the radio and let everybody know that they're going to figure out what the tiebreaker is here real quick for that final spot.
Well, if they're listening to GSRC, I'll go ahead and say,
race
let those 4 guys race. We have time. Bring them out. There is a rule. There is a tiebreaker. I do like your idea, though, Adam. Bring them out and let them race. I think they figure out first they look for wins, most thirds or seconds, most thirds. It's possible, though, that they could actually tie. Then if it goes all the way down. Oh, we're looking at the points here. You know, maybe they just gave Vanderbilt the extra point to break the tie for us to put it on the graphic. I'm going to say that's what happened. I think Johan Vanderbilt is going to get credited for 5 points, be it 4 plus 1 or 5 altogether. There are your 6 top finishers: Num, Hoflandaisen, Brehm, Jungbluth, Lukl, and Vanderbilt. But before we see them in a race, of course, there's what I like to call the orange slice race. This is the honorable mention race, and this is going to be for Burns, Quinns, and the rest of those guys. Our commentator, our race officials going over there, announcing to everybody who's in, and announcing the 6 cars who are going to be in the consolation race. And this time, instead of 2 laps, it's going to be 3 laps. Oh, this is, for me, Adam, this has been like eating a bag of potato chips. I just cannot get enough of this. Let's do another one.
Well, you know, and there's a couple of those heat races here. We were like, if they had one more lap, well, now we get to see that extra lap and see what happens. With a few extra cars on track.
Yeah. 6 cars, 3 laps. There we see. So we have 6 more laps of racing on this day for the Absolute Beginner League. Let's take this opportunity to thank them publicly right now for a great job they put on. GSRC covers a lot of series, and boy, I must admit that all the commentators and the directors look forward to what is Sunday morning for us in the United States when we get to cover the Absolute Beginners in the Skippies, and then to wrap it all up with this unique format at the end. It's just the cherry on top. We'd like to thank them for letting us cover this Race of Champions. All right, they are working out who gets to go right and left right now. David Burns is going to be in the preferred position. Get a close-up of his car. Look what it says on there. 3rd degree with fire. That's right. I love him. I love a driver who embraces his nickname. 3rd degree Burns out there. Mr. Excitement, Liam Quinn in that 44 on the outside of him. Rodrigo Capoletto Ferreira in the 69 machine. Actually, they're doing a little shuffling right now. No, they're just getting it organized there. Quinn dropped back a little bit just to make it hard on the commentator. Pierce Cocky out there. I believe he's going to get the 4th spot. Tran and Hausman. Hausman had a rough day. One of the most exciting drivers out there has been Edgar Sancinelli. And he takes it in. 3 laps. Race control. Good luck all. David, 3rd degree Burns with a great run off of that final corner. But they're side by side. That's Quinn in the 44. Now look at this. I think we got 3 wide opportunities here. Burns taking that defensive line. That's Ferreira in the 69 machine. Looking to get into the mix is Cocky back there in the GSR machine. Outside in the 44, that brown and yellow car with all the happy faces on it, that's Liam Quinn. They battle. Hausman gets into the back of Cocky. They continue to go in the same direction, though, Adam.
Yeah, they did definitely beating and banging on each other. Liam just having to wheel that thing around all those tight corners. Now he's going to swing wide there. That's going to allow Rodrigo to have a little bit of a look, but it's going to close up before he gets there. But that's going to give Pierce Cocky a look on the inside of Rodrigo. Pierce Cocky's actually going to have the preferred line here through the next couple of corners.
Cocky dumps it in, runs it over the curbs, gets a great run out of this final corner now as they head down the main straight. Lap number 1 goes to Liam Quinn, and he's got a little bit of a gap over Cocky, but Cocky's going to have to take a defensive line as Ferreira going to try to see if he can go to the outside. Oh, I think he's going to have the momentum because of this tight inside line that Cocky took. Ferreira should get a great drive off of this corner.
They all get sideways through the dirt and gravel that's become what was once turn 2. And Pierce Cocky, though, is going to take a pretty good control over 3rd place here through that. Rodrigo's going to have his hands full with Tuan Tran right behind him.
They start to... Oh, Liam Quinn has a bad apex. He could not find the apex. He has now fallen back into the clutches of Cocky. And then the 3 cars behind him, Ferreira, Tran, and Hausman really going at it. The only guy who's not having to struggle is our leader, David Burns.
David Burns right now asking if there's, not actually, but he probably in his head asking if he wins this thing, does he get a trip into the final, show what he can do there, but no such luck. This will be the last race of the day for these guys, and they are definitely racing like that back there for third on back with Pierce Cocky right now running in 3rd. He's got a pretty good solid control. Looks like he's had a fast car most of the day. Now finally getting a chance to show it in hoping he can get to the back bumper of Liam Quinn.
Liam Quinn running in 2nd, Cocky in 3rd. A nice little battle going on here from Ferreira and Tran. Hausman watching everything happen in front of him.
Once again, Liam Quinn kind of runs wide right there, but Pierce Cocky, a little bit of target fixation there. I think he ended up running wide with him. He's going to have his nose just on the inside here on Liam Quinn, but Liam Quinn gets the better run off the corner.
Going up to the front. He started on the pole from the front of the formation. David Burns wins in the consolation.
They're just having all sorts of fun in the back now.
They actually all make it across the line. I'm not sure what order they actually finished in. What they had finished in, they all finished in the order of having fun, and that's what it's all about here today. Congratulations to David 3rd degree Burns as he wins the consolation bracket.
Houseman doing some celebratory burnouts for finishing last.
And now for the last heat. Errol Num on pole position. Mikael Haflundesen in the second spot. They start to organize them right now. They pull them out. This is for all the chips. Errol Num, run season number 7 in the Formula Eagle. Then season 8, he was defeated in the run for the championship by, they call him Buckles, Johan Hallberg. Season 9, Errol Num comes back to win his second championship, and now he'd like to top this off with a nice win here in the Race of Champions. Three more laps before we close the book on the Absolute Beginner League for 2016. Instructions going over to the drivers. Nome in the preferred spot, Haflundesen going to start on the outside. Both of these guys have a couple wins under their belt so far. Brame is going to be on the inside of low 2. Then that blue and red machine of Fabian Jungbluth, he's going to be starting outside of row 2. The 42 machine of Eric Lukl inside of the last row. And the fan belt still turning in the 6th spot. Well, the top 2 drivers that we've seen have been Num and Haflundesen. We've seen Num win, though, coming through the field. Doesn't have to do it this time. Sanginelli pulls the pace car in for the final time, thank goodness. And it's a nice drag race down. Num gets first to the gas. Ducking in right behind him is Haflundesen. Making a move from the outside behind Haflundesen. That's Brame in the 25 machine. Brame takes it in deep. He collects Jungbluth. Excuse me, they spin off.
And Vincent Brame is still parked out there. I don't know if he was hoping for a yellow there, but no such luck. Fabian Jungbluth also gets a real bad part of that. That's going to put Eric Lukl right now into the 4th spot with Vandeveld right in front of him. Vandeveld's going to take an offense. Is going to try to make a move on Michael Haflundesen here as going to the corner. Eric Lukel's going to try to follow him right in there. They're going to muscle right past Mikael as they go into that final left-right-hander there. Next will be 2 right-handers, and we'll find our way onto the front stretch with
Haflundesen is off the pace. Yeah, something must have happened to Mikael there as he's way off the pace. It's been going on for a whole lap, and he has dropped way back. Now he seems to be back on it again, but Jungbluth has got around him. Meanwhile, completing lap number 1, it is the Roland Estonian, Errol Num, your leader. 2 more laps to go, but he's got quite a gap. Back to Eric Lukl. No, apologies. Back to the fan belt in 2nd and Eric Lukl in 3rd.
For what it's worth, Euro Num, so far today, his best lap was 0.6 of a second better than the next best lap with Johan Vandeveld. Now, granted, that could have been while he was trying stuff earlier on in the day, but he has definitely been the class of the field this entire Race of Champions, pretty much all day long, through all the heats and also through all the practice sessions that they had beforehand. Johan Vandeveld right now in 2nd. He's probably going to have to try to hold off Eric Lukl here before this thing's said and done.
Errol Num, your champion in Formula Nagel. Johan Vandeveld, the champion in the MX-5s in the Tony Hayes Cup. So I have a couple champions out there. Eric Lukl, the champion of many fans' heart, but no hardware this season for him.
Yeah, podium in the Race of Champions, though, won't be too bad.
No. Good way to... little momentum going into season number 10. Coming up in 2017. We are on the white flag lap. It's no surprise to see Errol Num out there again when it comes to something that has champion involved in it. Not surprised to see him leading the way. Van Belden second. Nice little battle going on for fourth back there. Jungbluck and Hoflandaisen. Hoflandaisen, after getting way off pace, able to get back in. But right now, it's all about the Roland Estonian as he negotiates the final corner for the last time, drifts it around. And Aeronum is your Race of Champion. Second place is going to go to Johan van de Velde. Third spot to Eric Lukel. Fabian Youngbluth takes home fourth. Hoflandaisen in fifth. And then the last car out there, I honestly don't remember who it was. Vincent Braham, I believe, might have been the final car. The Racing League organizers are thanking all the drivers for participating. We would like to do that as well here on the Global Sim Racing channel. What we will do is go to break, then we'll be back and see if we can get any drivers to come in and maybe talk about not only today's event, but their whole season as a whole. So, Director, I've seen enough to know I've seen too much. Take me to break. Welcome back to the Global Racing Channel's coverage of the Absolute Beginners League. This was the Race of Champions. Now, this Absolute Beginners League is based in the Netherlands mostly. I'm pretty good in geography. I'm not sure how close that is to Switzerland, but let me tell you, this Race of Champions ran like a Swiss watch. What a great event. I cannot tell you how the organizers had this thing so well laid out. Boy, it was fun to do. What we're going to do is bring in your champion here today. Because are we able to bring up, I guess we're not able to bring up points, but we know that we have our champion here right now, and that is the Roland Estonian Eero Num. So let's go ahead and bring him in and talk to him, and I'll ask him a question. And then we're going to leave Eero in here, and we'll just kind of turn this into a party. But let's start with Eero alone. He's first to the party. Eero, congratulations on the win today. 2 questions for you. First of all, what a fun event, huh? Wasn't this fun?
Yeah, the street stock is always fun.
Let's talk about your big picture plans. Now, we know that you won here in the Absolute Beginners League. We have a brand new build 2017 coming up. Are you going to be racing in any iRacing series that we should keep an eye out for you?
Probably not. Maybe just Skippies.
You're going to private leagues only. No, that's great. I don't think when iRacing came in with these private leagues that we do, it is really so popular and it keeps a lot of people around. Hey, stay in here with them a little bit. We're going to bring in a few other guys so maybe they can yell at you a little bit. Let's go ahead and bring in Michael Hoflandaisen. First of all, Michael, is it Michael or Michelle?
It's Michael.
Michael, okay. And how about the last name? Hoflandaisen? Am I getting that one right?
For being a first timer, yes, but
okay.
It's Haflidason.
Oh, man. All right. I will work on it. Hey, congratulations. You had a couple wins, and you were in there. Were side by side with Eero. Did you think you might have had something for him there in that final race?
I hoped he was going to break late. I think it was Vincent in my first race.
Yeah, even we remember that when Vincent broke late and ended up in the beach. Usually when Eero breaks late, though, he ends up somehow able to keep the car on the inside. Eero, we saw you make some passes today where we thought for sure you were going to slide into the car on the outside and body slam him. I just amazed how you were able to control the car. Do you like racing this big machine?
Oh yeah, I have raced quite a bit on the roads this car, so I like it very much.
Yeah, it is. I think it really plays to your talents because you're a good driver and you really get to muscle it around. How about you, Michael? You like this car?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the car. I would prefer the Skippy.
Yes, I know you like the Skippy. Stay in here a little bit, guys. We're going to bring in a few more guys. Adam, let's bring in Eric Lukal and David Third Degree Burns.
Yeah, of course, we're just getting a big old party going on here. Third Degree and Eric. Wow, guys, that was a pretty exciting format. Did you guys have fun with that?
If you can call cars a nice fun, yes. Because that's what they felt like.
Well, yeah, I mean, it definitely looked like you guys were having to wheel those things, and especially with as much dirt and debris ended up on the track too. So, David, you had a pretty good showing there. A handful of races. You were, one of the guys that really kind of charged through the field a little bit. What was your thought other than the ice part of having to muscle around this street stock?
Oh, it was just anything to get away from Liam's car paint. It was giving me a headache.
Did you feel the same way about Eric's paint scheme?
No, Eric's I liked. Eric's was really, really cool. I did enjoy that. But I had the best weapon in the last race of them all. Put Liam on your left-hand side. I was guaranteed to win then.
Well, if Too Bad is not in here to defend himself at this point. Hey, Eric, of course, you had a pretty good showing too, and I'll admit, even though my comment about your paint scheme, I really thought yours was a pretty classy look. What was your thoughts about these street stocks at Okayama? It seemed like a pretty fun format.
Yeah, I mean, it's different, but it was definitely a lot of fun. And I guess that's what this event was about, right? Trying something different and having some fun to end up the season.
Well, gonna bring in Bastian Hausman here, who didn't have a great day. Bastian, it's fun to watch you race, but My goodness, you were struggling today. You just couldn't seem to get around anybody.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I had a great day because it was good fun, but the car is very hard to drive, for me at least.
And now what we've done, boys, we're going to save the last guy here because I think he is our series organizer. I thought we'd bring him in here at the end. How about you gentlemen give your series organizer here, Johan Hallberg, sorry.
Where did that come from?
Oh, Buckles, I brought it. Nice. Johan Vanderbilt, your series guard. How about a round of applause here for Johan? Give him a hand, boys.
I mean, I wish I was as good as Johan Hallberg and I could front with the name, but
got my Johans confused there. But you were a champion. Hallberg was a champion last season, and you were a champion. Congratulations on that one. We don't get to cover the Tony Hayes Cup, but you got one there in the MX-5.
Yeah, that was fun. I liked the MX-5 a lot, and obviously the Skippy and I are not such good friends last season, but I could redeem myself a little bit tonight, and that was just a really, really fun championship, a really fun race of champions.
Well, before we close the book on the season, I just thought we'd bring you in here and say on behalf of GSRC for all the guys, for the bosses and for the guys in the back room that do the stats. We love covering the Absolute Beginner League and Formula Eagle, and thanks for putting on a good show. And congratulations on what I'm calling the cherry on top. This was a really fun event.
Awesome. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, everybody, for GSRC. You guys rock. That was an awesome broadcast all throughout the season. We'll be back soon.
All right, we'll be here for 2017, and hopefully we'll be able to bring you all the action. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for us. Take a few seconds here to get these guys out of here. And we're going to pull everyone out. Get out of the booth, you guys. We got to close up shop, unless you want to help with reading the script here. Okay, while those guys are leaving the room, I'm going to go ahead and start with giving some thanks here. Thanks to the Absolute Beginner League for organizing the Formula Eagle and putting on this great event. We just thanked Johan Vanderbilt for doing that one, and it certainly was nice.
You almost said Hallberg again.
I did. Well, we'd like to thank him, too. Always thank the champions. Also, thanks to ilovesimracing.com. Okay, this is my last one, and I don't remember here. Director, is it CO or .co? .co. Okay, I'm going to get it right. We're going to close up the season doing it the right way. Thanks to everyone at ilovesimracing.co.uk. I Love Sim Racing is a website where you will find quality-made sim racing button boxes, custom-made to your own personal design, making your sim racing experience more realistic and fun. It helps you execute all of those important in-race vehicle settings and pit stop changes, giving you that extra edge on the track. And Lord knows I need every edge I can find. All at an affordable price and competitive price. Working closely with you, it's their goal to create the exact button box layout you've been looking for, figuring out what it is you want and what it is you don't want, resulting in a box just for you and nobody else. Your button box will not only work on your PC, but also on your PlayStation 4 platform as well. So, ilovesimracing.co.uk, the home of your personal created button boxes. Adam?
Yeah, and thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen now that we use on our broadcast. The original music you've heard on today's broadcast is thanks to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them. Formula Eagle, we're going to return in 2017, and GSRC plans to bring you all the action.
If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including dates and times of upcoming broadcasts, or to find archive broadcasts, or maybe you'd just like us to broadcast an event of your own, your best bet is GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. And now, before we close up shop, on behalf of my mic mate Adam Young, our director Amjad Yaman, and our camera artist Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next season for the Absolute Beginner League, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.